everybody, so this is going to be the big walkthrough for my December daily. It is literally bursting. I had a few other stories I wanted to include, but as you can see, I cannot include anything else in this album. I cannot believe how massive this album is. So next year will definitely be 2 albums just so I can have plenty of room and tell all the stories that I wanted to tell. Okay, so I am going to hopefully not make this too long of a walkthrough, but just in case you didn't watch the process videos or you just want to see the walkthrough, then this video is for you. I added in a piece of cardboard so that way it would prevent this page from getting warped. So, and as you can see, my pages are all the way up to the ring. You usually try to avoid that, but you know, that's what happened. So I have a transparency to open the December daily, and then a picture of my decor boxes. And then I move into this page talking about what I want to do this season. And then for this page, oops, I forgot to fill out a few days. I will do that. But I just basically did what the story was for the day. This was our pre-December story. I usually open the albums with this story, picking out our ornaments, and I used some mixed media papers, and I love it. So just some simple photos of my daughter and I having hot cocoa, and then a picture of myself, and I just documented kind of how this year is and my thoughts on the year. And then I move into day 2. My son made this incredible creation, a reindeer, and he named it Norbert. So I took apart a page protector and I put just one pocket on there, and then I could put the story and then also a picture of my son making it, and it's priceless. I love it. So that is day 2. And then Norbert just has a little star and 2 little word phrases. Day 3, I tried something a little different. I decided to laminate some of the leaves that we were walking in and make a little heart out of it. And it actually coordinates perfectly with the leaves and the mixed media papers on the other side. Also found a photo of my daughter jumping in the leaves 4 years prior, so I had to include that photo as well. So that's 3. 4 is just about the candle and how it just smelled like the season, and I just discussed like the day and just what was going on during the day, just an ordinary day, and then made a pocket behind here so I could tuck it, and then some ribbon. So I got a silhouette this season, and so I was able to make something a little fancy for our tree adventure. I cut out all these different title pieces and then matted it on a vellum sheet that was a close-up of our tree. And then I open up with hands in. When we all agree on the tree, we put our hands in. And then a photo of my adorable kids. And I think this is actually our tree right here, because I was looking back at the photos and our tree did have a large part right there. And so that is our tree, I believe. I had a piece of laminator paper left over from the leaf, so I used that to put a 5 and then a row of the transparencies. And then I just kept it simple on the photos right here, just a flare and a transparency and some word strips. I also used my silhouette to cut out this tree so that way I could make it 3-dimensional, and I love how that came out. This is also a transparency as well. And then for the journaling, I was going to do something fancy with a pop out, fold out, flip out, something wild, crazy, but I could not get it to work, so I just went with just sticking it in a pocket right here and just moving on. Okay, so day 6 was just going to be this story, but then I decided to add in another story that was also on this day, which was about self-care. I got a day to myself. Doesn't happen that often, so I, of course, wanted to document it. I used one of the texture prep pages that I made, added a ribbon and a big flare, and then on the back, the selfie, self-care, and then the story. And then for this one, I did a 5x7 inspired by an Allie Edwards page of my husband bringing in the tree, and then the title on the side. And then you flip it and you see the tree pattern, the tree, and then kind of the outline of the title on the side. I tried out one of these hearts, the hard enamel hearts, I guess. I don't know what the right word is, but that's what I used. This year, I was determined to try several of the products, or most of the products in the December Daily Kit, instead of shying away from them, just because I, for whatever reason, thought that they weren't something that I could incorporate, or I was nervous to use them. So anyways, for 7, this is decorating the tree, so I used another prep page, and it is some fringe, and I love it. It's a cute little bit of a wonky tree, and I love it. I used my silhouette again to make some frames based off of the shape of this. Since I had the digital December Daily Kit, I was able to know the exact size of these. In the windows, I have transparency, vellum, and mixed media. Added in some stars, then all the photos of my kids decorating the tree. Since this was our biggest tree ever, I decided that I also wanted to document me hanging up the lights. I usually am the one that do the lights just because the kids can't wait till Dad gets home. So I just do the lights. But this year, this was a massive tree, so it was quite a project to get lights up. And then the tree fell down. I'll get to that in a minute. But I hung up the lights and I made these cute little banners with 2 different stamp sets. 8-second hugs. I just had to document giving my kids 8-second hugs and squishing them. And so I made this journaling card, and then this is from the digital alphabet stamp set. Day 9 is just making lemonade. My daughter and her bestie just made lemonade, and I took a journaling card from the Stories by the Month kit. That's what all of this is. And then I just, on the back, used some stamps to journal the story. All right, so this is where the tree came down. It was on day 9, the night of the 9th, that came down. So I used a prep page again, and on the back, I put timber, she's going down. And I just talked about the tree and how it came down. So we had to redecorate it, and I think we did that on the 10th or the 11th or something. So had to include that. Day 10 was just bah humbug, no good day. Kept the journaling pretty honest and just discussed the day. So moving on to 11, that was a lot of fun to make, and it was all about the new Evermore CD. So I had to make a CD to document the new Taylor Swift album. This was a filler page, but I'm so glad I included it. It's my adorable cats cuddling under the tree, and I had a silhouette title and some pieces that I've had for years and years. So good to use up that stuff. 12 was a huge endeavor, but I'm so glad that I did it. Since there weren't a lot of community events this year, we decided to go look at lights, and I found this really awesome resource to see all the different parts of our area, and so we were able to go look at lights 3 different times in 3 different areas. This is our first tour, and I was able to capture a photo of my husband and daughter, and I just blew it up really big, and then I took the photo of the ship, the pirate ship, and I just blew it up as big as it could go and fit in here. And then I just used the paper on the side and some transparencies and some stars. I also included a 2x2 pocket page, and then I didn't put anything on the back of these transparencies. I didn't feel like I had to. So this one was a really, really fun one to create, and I'm so glad I did a large photo for the pirate ship. Day 13 is baking with my daughter. We made some muffins, so I just made a collage and added in several flairs. Very simple page, but that's okay. Not every day has to be complicated. So my mom loved Norbert so much, she decided to make her own, and she FaceTimed, and I captured them both, and then just journaled on the back about it, and tucked it in, called it done. Added some photos on the back of my daughter and I cuddling. I could have left the back of the tag blank, but these were taken on the 14th, so I figured why not? I'll just include them. Another really fun page I made during my prep time. I am actually really surprised at how many pages I made and actually used, and so I'm really excited and happy with that. So I just filled in the little journal spots I had right here, and then the day 14. On the back, I made kind of like a waterfall to include all the selfies and then journaling. And there you go. That was 14. 15, I decided to try out the design of using the digital tag and then making my photos into that shape to document doing some blanket yoga. My daughter picked out my workout. I let her do that sometimes. And so she found this fun one. And I'm so glad I did it because it was so much fun. It was very different using a blanket to do yoga, but I loved it. So that is 15. 16 is another collage type project or page that I did, and it is watching a movie with my husband. And I used a really thick embellishment right here, but I just couldn't resist. I wanted to try the new buttons from Jenny, ScrappinHappyStudio. This is a envelope, and I made kind of a tree going down, and then since my card wasn't gonna fit this way or this way in, I just cut the top off and then stuck it in there. The back has me mailing some cards. And then 18 is just all about gratitude. I got this idea from another creative team member, Inga. I think I'm saying her name right, but she was talking about doing gratitude on a day where there wasn't a very specific story. So that's what I did. This is one of the first things that I made with my silhouette, the joy, and I absolutely love it. I used some foil paper. Did the same thing here, cut this 3 times so it was a little more dimensional. And then on the back, I just have a 2x2 page protector of just little stories, and I used the transparencies again and just included all the everyday stories. The back has some more, and it was just one of my favorite pages, and it wasn't very complicated. 19 is a simple story about our jolly little bunch. My husband went to go to the store to add just the Santa. We had snowman, owl, and reindeer, and we wanted to have a Santa, and somehow he came home with this whole setup and the unicorn. So we have a whole jolly bunch. I included a photo for nighttime and also a digital card for the actual story. 20 is our second tour of lights, and my kids were able to get out at one of the houses and take a picture in the lights. I cut this title, and then I just made a grid of photos and pop dotted some of them. 21 is when my best friend came to visit, and he had a long visit this time. So I opened up with 21 and then some of the photos of the stuff that we did, and then a fun photo my daughter took of us wearing the antlers and him dressed up as Santa Uncle. So that was really fun and special. 22 is our third tour of lights, and we took Uncle to go see lights, and I just added in a bunch of my mixed media papers and some gold stars and the cardstock perforated strips. We have done this type of photo since my daughter was 4 months old, so we do this photo every year, and I love it. Once again, cut the title several times so that way it could be a little more dimensional. 23 is hot cocoa, inspired by another creative team member, Jenny, and she does the little flaps on the side, so that's what I did. And then I made a stamped pattern paper and added in a pocket to do the story. This is 24, and I used some more of these fun little word phrases and another card, and then I just built in Photoshop Elements 3 different rows of photo strips, so that way I could document the kids and I being silly, and then just put them in this pocket that I had made during my prep time. And then 25, you have this cut file that I decided to use, and I had 3 smaller stars left. I used up all of them, so that was awesome. Added in the 25, and then you flip and you see my kids, and I love it. And then on the back is this template from Pam Baldwin. I believe this is my 2nd or 3rd year just using this template. It makes it easy, and it's simple, and it gets Christmas documented. I added in another 3x4 card talking about Christmas using this Christmas morning card, And then on the back, we wound up talking to 3 different family members through FaceTime. And so I just talked about who they were and where they're at. And then I included the family photo, and then the circle journaling card, and then a long-standing tradition, the money bag game, and documented that with our second celebration with my in-laws. And that makes the album complete. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this massive walkthrough and longer walkthrough of all my pages and my stories and just how I put everything together. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you want to keep seeing my videos. All right, thanks so much, and I hope you have a great day.